is, and a little bit about Ansel, because I got I think like 3 pages of bio information on Ansel. So accomplished. Part of what I highlighted, it says, I am a blessed Nigerian American, 16 years old, currently participating in dual enrollment, high school student enrolled in the Georgia State University, which he started when he was 15. At 12, he had the chance to meet the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the speaker of the House of Georgia for his efforts with the academic team. He's passionately dedicated with the National Academic All-Star team, and you actually had an opportunity to do a short speech about the missing girls. And you said this: every child, regardless of where they're born, deserves a good education. And he says he brought everyone to their feet. You got a standing ovation there. And education should be made viable for all. And here's some other things that I really love. At 14, you were chosen to write and recite a poem for Nigeria's, 45th Independence Day, which I think is awesome. And currently, you're a part of the Georgia high school academic team, and you're on television with that. What is that? WSB TV, High IQ. And I'm telling you, he's got so many amazing accomplishments. And the last thing here that I want to mention, he was awarded a medal for his work with the National Geographic Bee by the Senate of Georgia, and was invited to come here and speak on the Senate House floor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Like I said, with so many beautiful things there about you, and you're involved in so many different things, academically, culturally, in the community. What are some of the things that you love best that you're a part of?
Well, the things I like best, I'm a member of student council in my school, and so I think that I like the government and community outreach the most.
Awesome. Now, it's obvious from everything here that you are academically gifted in many different areas. Is there a particular subject that you're passionate about?
Yes, that would be social studies and geography and history, because geography and history, I like my brother here, I feel the same a duty to spread African culture, spread African heritage, and like our story. And so that's what really drives me to know everything about geography and history, because African history is very, in my opinion, it's very glossed over, because in the syllabuses that they teach in high school, African history only covers a fraction of what is actually taught in schools. And so that really bothers me that people, they grow up, like African Americans, they grow up not really not really knowing our culture, or worse, the culture is commodified, it's changed, so that's what really drives me to.
I love it. Laris?
Yeah, I definitely concur with that, and congratulations to you on your accomplishments. I remember being a young man myself, aspiring to be on High Q when Chuck Dowell was asking questions. So when we start talking about African diaspora, I think that we're all in agreement that there is something. I said this on another show. We don't really understand what our value is, and I use an analogy of the HIV test, HIV/AIDS test. They take 2 tests. They do a test for checking to see if there's these cells in your viral cells in your body, and then they do a test when they can't detect it that way to see if the body is preparing for something that only the body can see that we can't see. So one of the most effective ways is to check to see if the body is developing antivirals, and that lets you know that the body is gearing up for something. Now, here's the thing with us, and this is why I use that analogy. We have so much power. People are so envious of us. We don't see that in ourselves. But if you look around at our opposition, it's gearing up at us in an alarming rate like never before. And that's because the opposition sees something in us that we don't even see in ourselves. So kudos to you. I just want to say, continue on doing what you're doing. I wish you very well with that, brother.
Thank you, sir.
So what is the ultimate dream for you?
The ultimate dream for me is to have a job in politics, and maybe, and the ultimate dream for me is to be in the Supreme Court, because I felt that since election, 2016 election, I've been very disillusioned with politics and very disillusioned with how corporations, they manipulate elected congressmen and lobby them into their own interests and not the interests of the people. But at the same time, I really like reading about law and reading about government and how lawyers such as Thurgood Marshall and Barack Obama, they started out as community outreach lawyers and they've advanced cases in civil rights. And so I've also been interested in how Supreme Court justices, they've been very academically rigorous and they're very well read and well versed. And I fear that might be lost in our current politicians. So that's why I want to be in the Supreme Court.
I love that because we say so often that there's a role for each of us to play. And when we talk about really taking back our community and making things better, we need people strategically placed in every area of our society so that we can benefit from that on a higher level. So, Mama, I know Mama's in the room. We're gonna pass the mic down to her. Is there anything you wanted to say? Pass her the mic.
Well, I just want to start by saying thank you so much, Ms. Reginald, for having us. The topics that you just mentioned are the topics I'm passionate about myself. So I am writing a book about, Black unity. I actually started off as an international chief advisor here at the state capital to Senator Desella James and High International Chief Advisor. So every year we have Africans in Diaspora. So I'm the one who is the lead coordinator for the Africans here. And last year we were able to have about over 15 African countries, including Haiti and Jamaica. We added that this year. So there's importance for us to realize that our voices do matter. Because like I always say, we have our children here and our businesses here. And we as parents have to be role models for our children because we see what is going on today. So I am truly blown away to see our young children, especially those of them who have no maybe fatherly figure in the house, rising up to the challenge and say, you know what, my circumstance does not define me. That was exactly his statement when he came here at the state capital when he was about 9 or 10 years old. And then when he won, was the first in the States for the National Geographic Bee, and he had to go to the National Geographic Bee in DC. That particular month, he was representing the state of Georgia twice. One was National Academics Championship, and the other was National Geographic Bee Championship. But you see, in all of these things that we've been doing, we hardly see people like us in this academics. So that has been one of the biggest, challenges because you don't really have people that that are really like when we are competing there. So each year he was going for that. And when he had to represent the state that year, it became very challenging because some things were not really kind of adding up, and we had to make a DVD for the state and talk about the state because that's what he wants to showcase to the world. Every champion from each state had to do that. So now, having him, go to the national championship and become first as top 10 in the nation. Once that was done, they had them on the national TV and live. So, but the journey towards that, to me personally, I didn't really see the support and the mentorship, let me just put it that way, that he would need, especially because I'm originally from Nigeria. And so my relationship with what I do with the state capital here and with other Africans in the diaspora and try to bridge the gap between Africans, Blacks, and us, we are all one. We have to recognize that because if I know that just like what they were saying, if it was another color, the state will be on the news everywhere, really, So I just know that based on our culture or based on who we are, sometimes we are underrepresented. So we cannot afford to keep doing that. So that is why I'm grateful to God when I see these young ones coming up and figuring out how to make a difference too. So we have to keep supporting them. We have to keep letting them know that yes, it doesn't matter the circumstance right now. You can make a difference, you can make a change because we all do matter. It doesn't matter the color, the skin color. Like I said in one of the books I'm actually writing, I'm royalty. That's coming out. So when you were saying that, you were talking from lifting that from my book and from what is in my mind, and I felt like just tearing up. We are queens and kings, but instead we are made to see ourselves the other way. So, but we must step up to change narratives now. So when I see you, what you did, I already know that I'm going to have to keep that and work with you on that one. So many things that we can do. We all should love to really work together and support one another, because the individualism is not just here in America, it's actually coming from Africa as well. And that is also keeping our communities down. So what you are doing is commendable. You are raising, encouraging and acknowledging the efforts that these young ones put forth. But ultimately though, more of us, we need to do that. More of us need to see what is it in that particular person that I need to reach out to. Personally, I struggle with it because I'm originally from Africa, and I don't have a lot of people on the same kind of pursuit. It's difficult for me to say, okay, like my son now, he needs support, he needs mentorship, he needs all of that. After all of this is done, it's been honored by Board of Education, Board of Commissioners, just name it. But yet, sometimes it's very hard for people to see that I can take this young one under my wing and really support them. That is what I believe that we all should be doing. Let's look out for each other. Let's look out for other people's children. They are all our children, and it takes a village to raise our kids. So thank you so much for what you are doing. And may many of us rise up to the challenge and know that, yes, our voices matter, but we are stronger together.
Absolutely. That is so much a part of the mission of what we do with Boss. It's not just about a show, right, guys? It's about the community really getting in behind our young people and letting them know that we believe in you and we support your efforts. And I have to say this too, the media is so big on portraying the black man in such a negative light. And one of the reasons I like to do this show is I want people to see this is who we really are. Not who the media says we are. This is who we are as a people, and it's something that has to be represented. Before we go to break, Ansel, if there's a young person out there who, he wants to do some of the things you're doing, he's seen the tape of you, at the state capitol. What's your word of encouragement for him if he thinks maybe these things aren't possible for him?
Keep your eyes on the prize and always think about what's going to happen in the long run.
Awesome.
How it's going to benefit you in the future.
Awesome.
Because that's what drives me.
Well, we thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with our last